Okay, hello YouTube. This is a quick little tutorial and just it's step one to repairing your Xbox that has the red light of death. Now this applies to any of the red lights, that's 2, 3, 4, or anything like that. So what you're going to need to do is first get these tools that I have here. One, just a little pointed tip screwdriver. Make sure it's the finest point you can get just because it's just best for what we're going to be doing here. And if you actually go to the website in the link below, or if you just check on eBay, you can actually get these two screwdrivers here. This is the Torx 8 screwdriver, and this is the Torx 10, I believe. And you can get these on the eBay or through my website. You can usually get this tool as well. It comes with all of the stuff on my website, and it comes with any of the kits you usually buy on eBay as well. It's just for opening up the back of the console, and I'll show you that in a second. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're just going to put our tools off to the side for a second here, and we're going to start by just removing our hard drive, and you can toss that off to the side. And then what you're going to do is, this is a fairly simple process, you don't really have to be too delicate with it, so don't worry about that. You're just going to grip right here where the USB ports are in the front, and just pull. And this little front panel will pop off. And next step is, what you're going to see here is you're going to see this gray panel here, and for those of you who are just opening your Xbox for the first time, you're going to notice that this little piece here is pretty snug down. So what you're actually going to do is you're going to take your pointed screwdriver and just right in between the front white piece and underneath the gray piece here, you're just going to fit your screwdriver in there and just pry up until it eventually pops off. Mine comes off easier because I have opened mine in the past, but just pry up on both sides, and you probably won't break the clips or anything, but that's really the only way to get those clips off. Even if you do break them, as you can see, like, mine still locks down, and one of my clips are broken, so you don't really have to worry about that. Like, even the professionals usually break these, but 90% of the time they'll just replace it. Not that it's necessary. Anyway, so now that you've gotten the front piece off, you're going to notice that on the sides here, you can see the small little spots here that have been filled in. Now, the reason they've been filled in is because they actually mark where the clips are that hold this gray piece on the top. Now, if you actually press right in the center, in between them, you will feel an actual clip that will kind of pop up, and there. So I've now popped up the one side there, and then you're just going to do the same thing to this other side here. Just press in, and eventually, there we go. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it is popped up on that one side now. And you're just going to do the same process to the other side as well. Just push the center pieces. Now with this top one, you're going to notice there's a little rubber stop here that usually does stop you for a little bit if you're just opening your console for the first time. It may be pretty hard to pop this one out. There is a little security hole if you actually do peel this off. Kind of annoying to get it on and off, so I'm just going to leave it on. But if you have your little fine tip pointed screwdriver, you can actually just press right above it, and it'll actually pop this out. So this little panel will come off, and you can just toss that aside. And then you do the same thing to these sides here. You'll notice on the top here that they are actually marked in at the top, so you can see them nice and easy. So I don't even have to really look at the sides. I can just go across and press in the little tabs. It's a fairly simple and fast process. And then the other panel just pops off. And again, you can just toss that aside, and now you're at the front panel. Alright. So now you're going to take the actual hard case off, and what you're going to do is, while pressing with your fingers just to hold this open, just kind of press right there as you're doing it. Flick up the one tab, and then flick up the other tab. Try not to press them back together. Make sure you're applying a decent amount of pressure there. Pop up all the tabs. Right at the bottom here, you're going to notice there's like a little hook, so just kind of push it up on the one side and pull out, and it'll release the tab. Now what you're going to do is, as you're flipping this console over to get to the back side, just kind of stick your thumb right in that little hole right there, so it just holds it up so it doesn't lock back down. Now, what you're going to notice now is you're going to notice that there's two little pinholes here, and then there's the 5 pinholes here. So there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you have this tool that you purchased off the website, eBay or my website, it does make it a lot easier. You simply just line up the little spots here with the back of the console, and you can press and just pull. And that basically takes out all of the pins at one time. Saves you a lot of the hassle, and you won't leave any tool marks. But if you don't have that tool and you're just going off your own little tool set that you have here, then what you can actually do is you can take your fine tip screwdriver here, and you can, well, pulling apart the console right here, just as you're doing at the front, press in the little tabs, and it'll make a much louder sound when you're doing it, but don't worry, you're not breaking them, you're not damaging it. The only reason I don't like doing it this way is because it does leave tool marks on rare occasion if you press too hard into it. But yeah, you can just do that to each one of the tabs. Just press it in with your fine tip screwdriver. I'm just going to use this tool to make the video go a little faster. But as you can see, that's definitely a lot faster than going each individual tab. So I'd suggest my little kit. You can usually find them for pretty cheap. I don't know a price off the top of my head, but anyway. So what you're going to see here is a series of screws all along the top metal base here. What you're going to start by doing is taking out the 8 screws that are in the center here with your 8 Torx screwdriver, and then, well, then I'll tell you what to do from there. So just start by taking those out. I'm going to speed up this process just so it takes a little less video. Okay, you've taken out your center screws. I just personally like to do the center screws first, but you don't actually have to. You can actually do the other 6 screws that I'm going to show you here. You can do them first instead of doing the center, but I just prefer to do it because it relieves pressure from the actual processors before you're taking apart the rest. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your 10 Torx screwdriver and you're going to take out these 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're much like thicker and rounder screws, so it'll be easier to pick out from the rest of them. Okay, so now you're just going to flip your console over so the middle part is facing down. Now what you're going to see here is this little tab that is actually just a little button for opening the ROM drive. You can actually just grab right here at the little base there and it just pulls off. Just a little clip that holds it there, and you can put that aside for now. Just make sure that you're going to have to put that back on later, so don't lose it. Then from there, up right at the side, you're going to lightly press up at the front here, and it's going to release the top part of the case. And then that's just going to come off, and you can put that aside with the other part of your case. Well, this is the basic part of the inside of the Xbox 360. You got your ROM drive, heat sinks, fan unit. Anyway, so you're going to put your hand on top of the ROM drive and flip it over. Just flip it over on its back there so that you can see the front here. You're going to notice this little white thing here. You're going to have to take it off because underneath there's actually a screw. So just lightly press on the tab at the top while pressing it with your thumb on the front so it doesn't drop. And this little piece should come off nice and easy. What you're going to start by doing is using your 8 Torx screwdriver, take out the 3 screws. They're at the front of the console here. And this is going to take off the panel that controls the wireless controller synchronization. And it's also going to control power switches and whatnot. And then you'll notice that there's this little port at the bottom. It's almost like a USB port. You can just carefully pull it out, and it's like a little plug. USB port, plug. Anyway, So after that, what you're going to do is you're going to flatten your console out here, you're going to lift out your ROM drive, and then you're just going to see these two wires that come out of the back of the ROM drive. One is a little SATA cable that reads the information, and the other one is just for power. Just unplug those from the board, and then you can just carefully put your ROM drive aside. After that, what you're going to need is your little pointed screwdriver again. This little plastic piece here is locked in, and you're going to have to take out the little plastic piece by pressing into this little spot here, and just press in and push out, and this will lift off nice and easy. So now you've pretty well got your console down to what you need for the red light fix. You're just going to have to take out the last series of screws here, and then you're going to carefully, by holding this heatsink, pull this part out first and just slide it out. Now what you're going to see inside here is the fan is plugged into the actual board itself. It looks different sometimes, but a lot of the time it's just you press the little the front switch thing here, and it's difficult to do without taking the board out. Just press and pull out and it'll come out. The newer ones actually have a lot easier of one to take out. It's basically like you tilt to the left or right and slide out, and it's very easy. So that's all you really need to do to take apart your console to start for the red light fix. If I helped at all, feel free to like and subscribe my video. If not, then I'm sorry.